The old woman suddenly grabbed Jennifer's wrist and stared at her like she could see every secret Jennifer had. "Child," she said slowly, "how long have you been wearing that?" Jennifer frowned. "Wearing what?" The old woman lowered her voice, almost to a hush. "The underwear." Jennifer blinked, surprised. "Oh, since my stepmother gave it to me," she answered quietly, "I've been wearing it for years." The moment she said that, the old woman's face slowly turned pale. Her fingers tightened around Jennifer's wrist. Then she looked straight into Jennifer's eyes, and the next thing she said made Jennifer's heart start beating like a drum. "Take it off if you still want to live long." Jennifer's eyes widened. "What do you mean?" But before she could finish her question, the old woman suddenly released her wrist. Then she turned and disappeared into the darkness. Jennifer stood there, frozen. Her heart was beating fast now. Slowly, her hand moved to her waist, touching the underwear hidden beneath her clothes. Her stepmother had given it to her 5 years ago, and since that day, Jennifer had worn it without thinking because her stepmother told her to. But now, for the first time in her life, Jennifer was starting to wonder if the woman who raised her had secretly given her something far more dangerous than a gift. And the worst part? She had already been wearing it for 5 years. You're watching African Stories That Touch. Jennifer's story began on the day her mother died. She was only 9 years old. The sun had barely risen over the village of Ogidi, and the drums of morning market calls echoed faintly in the distance. She remembered the quiet dread of waking to find her mother gone, her gentle hands folded and still, the soft scent of palm oil and kola nut lingering in the air. Her father, a respected farmer named Charles, returned home with a woman Jennifer did not know, Madame Angela, and her daughter Monica. They brought laughter and color into the house, but it was cold and hollow. The woman's sharp eyes scanned the room, stopping briefly on Jennifer. From the very first glance, Madame Angela did not like Jennifer. Why would she? Jennifer was beautiful. Her skin glowed like polished bronze, her hair curled naturally around her face, and her eyes held the soft light of dawn. And worst of all, at least in Madame Angela's eyes, everyone noticed it. Villagers passing by stopped to admire Jennifer, complimenting her gentle manners, her smile, her kindness. Monica, on the other hand, seemed ordinary, and no praise followed her steps. Even Jennifer's father, trying to remain fair, lingered just a moment longer when looking at his daughter. Jennifer was too young to understand jealousy or malice. She accepted her new family quietly, doing what she thought children should do. But after her father died suddenly 1 year later, her world shifted like the earth after a violent rainstorm. The moment her father's eyes closed for the last time, Jennifer became a servant. She woke before dawn, fetching water from the stream in heavy clay pots, sweeping floors, polishing wooden furniture until the polish shone in the flickering morning light, cleaning dishes until her hands were raw, and sleeping on the bare floor of the corner of the house. Monica, meanwhile, lounged on velvet cushions, ate from plates of jollof rice and fried goat meat, laughed with her mother, and wore the finest wrappers and beads. Jennifer sometimes wondered quietly if she was being punished for being too lucky, too beautiful. Yet she said nothing, not a word. She could not imagine that her obedience and kindness were actually her hidden strength, a secret the stepmother would soon seek to destroy. Jennifer had a secret, a little secret that at first even she did not fully understand. Whatever Jennifer touched multiplied. A farmer who let her help with planting saw his yam and cassava double in size. A market woman who sold vegetables or fish found her profits growing with each passing day. And men who showed her kindness found that doors opened in ways that amazed them. Markets, opportunities, even love followed her like a shadow. It was not magic, at least not in the way she knew it. It was a blessing, a gift quietly woven into her being. Monica, on the other hand, carried the opposite. Whatever she touched wilted, failed, or brought misfortune. Farmers lost harvests, traders lost coins, and young men avoided her entirely. The stepmother noticed. She always noticed. She saw Jennifer's quiet power growing, her influence spreading through the village, and realized that it threatened her own daughter. The more Jennifer thrived, the more Monica languished. But she kept watching and waiting for the perfect time to unleash the demon in her. Then came Stephen. Stephen had been Jennifer's friend for as long as she could remember. Tall, handsome, and wealthy from his family's thriving cocoa farm, he had a gentle spirit that drew people in and a heart that admired Jennifer for who she was, not for her beauty, nor for her blessings. One morning, he appeared at the gate, carrying baskets of seeds, his eyes bright and full of concern. "Jennifer," he said softly, tipping his head in greeting. "I thought these might help with the farm. I wanted to make sure you are not alone in this." Jennifer's chest lifted at his words. "Thank you, Stephen. You always see the good in me," she whispered, blinking back tears. He knelt beside her in the farm, helping plant the seeds with careful, skilled hands. He praised the way she walked on the farm, her patience with the villagers, and the quiet strength that carried her even under her stepmother's shadow. "You make everything grow, Jennifer," Stephen said. "Not just the crops, the people too." Jennifer felt warmth flood her chest. For the first time in years, she believed that someone truly understood her, that her suffering had not gone unnoticed. But the stepmother was watching. Every smile Stephen gave Jennifer, every shared moment of laughter, every compliment whispered in the sun-drenched farm, she saw it as a threat. That night, under the cover of darkness, she visited a powerful native doctor known only as Neku, the Shadow Woman. The village whispered that Neku could twist fortunes, bind destinies, and even steal what was not hers. Madame Angela returned the next morning, carrying a small piece of silk underwear. "Jennifer," she said, her voice softer than usual, almost kind, almost gentle. "Come here." Jennifer froze. She hadn't been called in years without some punishment. Jennifer obeyed, heart heavy. She walked to the stepmother's side. Monica watched lazily from the sofa, pretending not to care. Then, for the first time in years, the stepmother smiled. It was not cruel. It was patient, almost inviting. She handed Jennifer something small, smooth, soft, warm, though it had never touched anyone like Jennifer before. A silk underwear. Jennifer's hand trembled. She looked up. What is this for?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The stepmother leaned closer, her eyes cold but her lips moving like a secret being spoken. "Wear this every day and never remove it," she whispered. Jennifer tilted her head, confused. "Why?" "Because if you take it off, terrible things will happen to you." Jennifer obeyed. Because she had nobody else in the world. She obeyed because she had been trained all her life to follow orders, to survive quietly, to not question those who had power over her. She didn't know, not then, what the underwear really was. It had been prepared by a dark herbalist. Its purpose, to siphon her destiny, her beauty, her favor, and give it to Monica. To make Jennifer weak, to make Monica beautiful, to make the family prosper at the expense of the girl who had only ever done what she was told. And so, Jennifer wore it. The sun rose over Ogidi village, spreading golden light across the thatched roofs and winding paths. But for Jennifer, the morning felt heavy, as if the sun itself didn't want to shine on her. She stepped out to fetch water from the stream, holding her clay pot tightly, and something felt wrong. The water slipped from her fingers, tiny drops falling uselessly on the stones. Usually, she could carry it easily, balancing the pot on her head like it was part of her, but today it felt heavy, awkward, and strange. Her heart raced. Am I just tired? She wondered. But when she reached the garden, a terrible truth hit her. The seedlings she had planted just the day before, small green sprouts full of life, were now drooping. Their leaves curled and turned brown where she touched them. She whispered softly, trying to encourage them, but they wilted faster, as if they were rejecting her. Jennifer stumbled back, fear gripping her chest. Something had changed, something she could not understand. And then she saw Monica. Monica walked through the courtyard, laughing softly, her fine wrapper swaying around her ankles. She touched the herbs and yams Jennifer had carefully grown, and instantly the plants straightened. Their leaves shone bright green, as if touched by sunlight. The villagers who had come to collect vegetables stopped and whispered in awe. "Look, Monica's hands, they are so lucky," one of them said. Jennifer's stomach sank. Lucky, she thought, disbelief choking her. This cannot be. By midday, the news spread quickly. Farmers came to Monica, bringing gifts and coins, hoping to touch her clothes and receive her favor. Traders bowed and smiled with wide eyes, as if some invisible luck followed her wherever she went. Even men who had once noticed Jennifer now lingered near Monica, whispering compliments and offering help. Jennifer watched silently, her heart heavy. The world she had cared for and blessed for years was slipping away. When she tried to help now, her touch caused leaves to shrivel, clay pots to crack, and herbs to wilt. Stephen, her loyal friend, stepped closer, worry written all over his face. "Jennifer, what is happening?" he asked softly, taking her hand. But when he touched her, the misfortune seemed to reach him too. His crops were failing. The traders he trusted were losing money. Stephen, usually confident and bright, looked tired and worried. Jennifer swallowed hard, tears forming in her eyes. I don't know, Stephen," she whispered. "Something is wrong. Something is taking everything." Inside the house, Madame Angela watched from her balcony, counting the coins the villagers had brought to receive Monica's blessings. Her smile was sharp and cunning, like a knife catching the sunlight. "See what happens when you obey me?" she whispered, glancing down at Jennifer struggling in the courtyard. "You were always too powerful, child. Now your place is back to me, to my daughter." Monica, unaware of her mother's plotting, laughed and twirled around, not knowing about the dark forces that had stolen her sister's gift. The villagers carried their baskets of vegetables, gold coins, and gifts, grateful for Monica's blessing. They praised her while Jennifer's heart quietly broke with each transaction. Jennifer's chest hurt, the weight of injustice pressing down on her. Her mind spun with confusion and fear. Her blessing, her beauty, her ability to help people, all slipping away like sand through her fingers. That evening, as the village grew quiet and the sky turned pink with sunset, Jennifer walked to the stream alone. Her reflection in the water trembled. A pale, tired, powerless face stared back at her. She touched the water, hoping it would comfort her, but even her reflection seemed distant, fading. Then, from behind the reeds, a shadow appeared. The same old woman from the night before stepped forward, her eyes glinting in the last light. Child, you wear what is not yours, the woman said softly, her voice strong and serious, making the leaves shake. Do you understand what it has done to you? Jennifer shook her head, her voice trembling. I obeyed her, my stepmother. She said it would protect me, that if I removed it, it would bring disaster. The old woman finished for her, nodding slowly. But the disaster is already here. She has chained your destiny, stolen what belongs to you, and given it to the one who should never have it. If you do nothing, you will lose everything. Jennifer's heart beat fast. Fear, anger, and hope mixed inside her. Could she take back what was stolen? Could she fix the wrongs of 5 long years? The old woman's eyes softened slightly. Come tomorrow, child. I will show you how to break the chain. But be ready, it will not be easy. Your stepmother will fight, and the consequences may scare you. Jennifer clenched her fists, determination burning through her fear. I will do it, she whispered. The reeds rustled around her, as if the whole forest was holding its breath. The next morning, Jennifer went back to the stream at first light. Mist hovered low, curling around the roots of the old Iroko trees. The water shimmered with the reflection of the rising sun. The old herbalist was already there, standing barefoot in the shallow water, her robes brushing against the ripples. Child, she said, her voice calm, carrying the weight of many years of knowledge. You must take off what binds you. Only then will your blessings come back, but it will not be easy. The silk was made with greed, envy, and dark magic. It sticks to your life. If you pull it off too slowly, it will fight you. If you pull it off too quickly, it may hurt you. Jennifer swallowed hard, fear twisting in her stomach. How can I remove it? What will happen? The woman's eyes softened. It will burn like fire on your skin, and your body will feel weak. The world will resist you. Your stepmother will know. She will try to stop you. But child, destiny is yours. You are never meant to be chained. Remember this. Courage is not being without fear, but acting even when you are afraid. Jennifer nodded, trembling, but determination burned in her chest. She clenched her fists. I am ready. I will take back my life, and I will take back what is mine. Inside the house, Madame Angela noticed the change right away. Jennifer had been missing since dawn. Her usual quiet obedience had changed into something different, something dangerous. Where is she? Monica asked, twirling a bracelet on her wrist. Madame Angela's lips tightened. She has gone to the stream, she said, her voice low and sharp with fear. I warned her, but she does not listen. If she finds out the truth, everything I have built for you, everything. Her heart beat fast. The silk. Jennifer could take it off. The stolen blessings would come back, and the wealth, beauty, and favor that had lifted Monica would disappear like smoke in the wind. Madame Angela's eyes narrowed. We cannot let that happen. Not now. She must be stopped. Jennifer went back to the edge of her small room. The silk clung to her waist. Her fingers shook as she touched it, feeling the faint pulse of stolen power. Her own beauty, her blessings, her fortune, all taken by Monica. Her reflection in the cracked mirror looked back at her, pale and tired, but her eyes burned with determination. She took a deep breath, gritted her teeth, and pulled. The silk fought against her, clinging as if it were alive. She bit her lip, closed her eyes, and ripped it from her body. Pain shot through her like fire on her skin. Her breath caught in her throat. Her legs wobbled, and her knees almost gave way. But she clenched her teeth and kept going, feeling the invisible chains of her stolen destiny breaking one by one. Suddenly, the air around her seemed to shimmer. The room went dark for a moment, then a bright light surrounded Jennifer. She felt her strength coming back, warmth spreading from her heart to every part of her body. Her reflection in the mirror now glowed, radiant. The true Jennifer was back. Outside, Monica screamed as she stared at her reflection in the silver basin. Her skin lost its shine, her perfect features faded, and the villagers who had waited for blessings gasped. The luck, the beauty, the favor all returned to Jennifer. Stephen, who had been working on the failing crops, ran to her side, his eyes wide with wonder. "Jennifer, it's you! You're back!" Jennifer smiles through her tears. "It's over," she said softly. "Everything is as it should be." Madame Angela stumbled into the courtyard, her face full of anger. You cannot! This is my daughter's fortune!" The villagers, once afraid, now watched her with judgment. The truth was clear. Monica had only been lucky because she stole Jennifer's blessing, and her mother's greed had blinded her. Jennifer stepped forward, calm but firm. "You chained my destiny," she said, her voice steady. "But destiny cannot be stolen forever. What you took from me, you cannot keep." The villagers started to whisper, understanding the truth. The wealth Madame Angela had shown off disappeared. Monica cried, confusion and fear written on her face as her unnatural beauty faded before everyone's eyes. The villagers rushed to Jennifer, bowing and apologizing for doubting her. They brought her gifts, not because they had to, but out of respect for the truth, for her strength, and for the blessings she had always held. Stephen hugged her, steady and loving. "I have always loved you, Jennifer, for who you are. Not for your blessings, not for your beauty, just for you." Jennifer smiled, tears running down her cheeks. "And I have never stopped believing in the good of this village, Stephen. Even when it was hard, even when it hurt, I never stopped helping. And now, all is right." Madame Angela and Monica were left to face the results of their greed. The village saw the injustice, and slowly, balance returned. The sun rose over Ogidi, not just in the sky, but in the hearts of everyone who had seen the power of truth and destiny. Jennifer married Stephen under the shade of the old Iroko trees, surrounded by villagers who had learned the weight of envy, greed, and justice. She wore no silk, no chains, no borrowed blessings, only her heart, her courage, and the magic of her kindness, true and unshakable. The village told her story for generations, that destiny cannot be stolen forever, that greed destroys itself, and that true worth is often hidden beneath suffering. Jennifer's hand once again touched the soil and the people, and the world thrived, not because of magic, but because of her strength, her spirit, and the power of living with honesty and courage. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed Jennifer's journey, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more unforgettable stories. Check out our channel, African Stories That Touch, for more tales filled with love, courage, and powerful life lessons that will move your heart.